Welcome back. Well, nearly 400 acres of vulnerable wetlands and wildlife habitat will be saved for future generations as a result of a recent gift to the North Florida Land Trust. Joining us by phone to tell us about his family's decision to preserve their property is the land's owner, Jack Thornton. Welcome, Jack.
Good morning.
Good morning. So tell us, if you can, what significance did this land have for your family and why did you want to preserve it?
Well, uh, I guess it all started back in the 2000s. I had a friend that lived on Amelia Islands, and we moved to Amelia Islands. I guess, I was trying to find the dates around 2001, and we bought a place at Carlton Dunes. And my family would come down, and of course, we had the beach. And my friend and I loved to fish. So one day we were riding around, we saw this house over there on the marsh, and the guy was putting a for sale sign in, and I ended up, believe it or not, buying the house, which worked out good because when the family members came down, we didn't really have enough room in the Thornton Dunes for everybody, so we would stay in the kids loved to stay over there in the what they call the creek house,
Hmm.
and it just got to be to where we spent a lot of time over at the creek house, and my friend and I fished. The kids used to crab and go fishing. We'd get up in the mornings and have coffee, and you could watch the sunrise and sunsets. And it's just a beautiful piece of property. And I guess over the last 20 years that we've had the property, we spent a lot of time, not just myself going down there, but other family members going down and staying at the house. They'd bring their kids down. Sometimes we weren't there. So it got to be kind of a getaway place to where you had activity, you could kayak, and it's a beautiful place to kayak. It's got all kind of little tributaries that you can get into. We had great neighbors, and at that point when we bought the house, we had a marsh behind the house, and everybody had a dock. And we come to find out, we got a tax notice from the city of Fernandina that this marsh was up for tax lien, and it incorporated all the little marsh lots that were behind the houses. We found out that we didn't own them. So that's kind of got us all up in the air because we all had docks, and if we lost the tax lien, somebody would end up owning all the docks. So I got into a bidding on that and ended up getting the marsh. And after we got the marsh, we had all the lots surveyed, and I divided up the cost of having the survey and the cost of the marsh. And my neighbors chipped in, and we ended up buying it. So we just spent a lot of time there over the years. And as we got older, we ended up having to come back to Atlanta for health reasons. But the kids would still go down there and enjoy it. And pretty soon, the 4 and 5 year olds turned into teenagers, and then teenagers into falling in love and didn't want to go down there that much. It's a cycle of life, I guess.
Sure. And we're
But we
looking
love the
at,
marsh.
I just want
We
to say,
we really love the marsh. Go ahead.
there's some pictures that we're showing right now for people who are watching online that show where this property is, and also pictures of some people enjoying it, and a picture of you and your wife as well. Um,
Right.
what does it mean to you to have this land now preserved for generations to come? Do you hope that it encourages other people to consider donating land?
I don't know why you wouldn't. It's just a beautiful piece of property, and I can't see it being developed. Whether it was transferred to the land trust, it just looks like it's supposed to be a part of Fort Clinch. And the ironic things, this sounds kind of wild, but on my family's side, on my wife's side, she had a relative back during the Andrew Jackson era when they were, I guess, running all the Indians out of Georgia down into Florida. She had a relative that was at Fort Clinch. Andrew Jackson's troops stayed there overnight for a week or so. So he had a letter. She has a letter that said that one of the guys had fallen in love with one of the Indian women when they were down there previously, and he took off one night and on his horse and never returned. But the horse did return. It's kind of interesting. That was from a relative of hers, so we felt like we just kind of had a little connection to the fort
Huh.
too.
Huh.
And so we just decided when we moved back to Atlanta that we leased the place out, and we had a really nice family in it for about 4 or 5 years. And we'd go down and we'd still fish. We had permission to go out and fish. And then it got to be where our health was going down. We decided what we're going to do to the marsh. And, I think the family consensus was that just to see if we could donate it to the land trust. And so I contacted them about a year or so ago
Jack,
and been working.
we're gonna probably have to leave it there because we're out of time. But I just want to say thank you for the
Okay.
gift to the community. It's a wonderful piece of property and will be saved forever. So thank you, and thanks to your family.
Well, I hope you enjoy it. And I think my family will still go. I'd like to end this thing that my friend that I went down there to see died last night or night before last. So he'll be in your obituary.
All
Super
right.
guy, graduated from Georgia Tech. Thank you for the
Thank you
interview.
so much, Jack.